Good morning, Rex. Good morning, world. Good morning, shrinking glacier. Good morning, blue sky. And birds singing. And the sun shining. Very pretty. Looks like we've had a cold front go by last night. Very subtle cold front came through. I saw it snowing at Sugarloaf last night. That'd be day 4 in a row with New England snow. And somewhere it's probably going to snow again today, but not up here. Just gorgeous. The morning is starting off calm. Summit of Mount Washington, also with a blue sky, but an undercast this morning on Mount Washington, where the wind is from the north at 3 miles per hour. And there was 0.3 inches of snow last night with a very subtle but important cold front. Important if you want a snowstorm. I think everybody up here does. And I think we are going to get over a foot of snow. Still ironing out the details. Looks a little shorter duration than it did before, at least with the intense snow. Let's take a look up at the peak right there. So the temperature this morning is in the 20s. So it's going to be fast and firm, and then corn snow again by 9 o'clock. It was so fun watching that transition from fast, almost scary ice in spots to just perfect corn snow happened right between 9 and 9:30, like on the dot. Groomers do a great job here. There's one right now over at Spruce. So it's going to be a fun day of skiing and a fun day of forecasting, challenging day of forecasting. I talked about that wicked strong high-pressure system over Greenland. It's part of a Greenland block. We have the most negative North Atlantic oscillation of the winter. That is also can be called Greenland blocking, and it holds the cold in eastern North America, southeastern Canada primarily. So this morning, go skiing, same routine, come back, do a much more in-depth out the door. Met a bunch of characters yesterday. Introduce you to some characters. There's the frost on the roof. High barometer cold. Going to be replaced by serious low barometer storm, but still not until tomorrow afternoon. Oh, and there's our waning worm moon. Big worm storm coming in. It's not going to be all snow. It's not going to be all rain. There's going to be a bunch of ice too. This is called the Foose, the NAM12Z April 2nd Foose. And I can get so much out of this. I like to wait to see this come out when I have a big storm coming. Bottom line right there, that 45 is the wind speed sustained near Boston in 48 hours from 12Z, which is Thursday morning at 8 a.m. The heart of this beast near Boston, Thursday morning at 8 a.m. So I got in my 10,000 feet. I think I last left off with possibility of ice lowering the snow amounts in here. That Foose also is a great chart or table to read the different levels of the layers of temperature in the atmosphere to determine whether this storm may contain the bouncy kind of ice, which is sleet. That would be snow that turns to rain high up in the sky and then solidifies as it freezes again in lower layers that are thick enough to make it a sleet storm instead of the thinner layers of freezing at the ground level that make it into an ice storm, a glaze, a creating ice, freezing rain. I think this is more of a sleet potential than a freezing rain potential. So hopefully we will not repeat what happened 10 days ago on that Saturday storm. Boy, the storms are just all lined up. When I talk about layers of temperatures, am I allowed to make all this noise right now, right here? I don't really have to compete with the wind. I want to show you the top of Mount Washington right now. I talked about it this morning. Well, just before noontime, the wind is 1.2 miles per hour. And look at the temperatures. It's a little bit warmer at 62.88 than it is at 5,800. So that's what I'm talking about, these little layers of temperature differential. And you go down the column there, and it repeats itself down the mountain. So we may have a situation in this storm, not Mount Washington, but somewhere near, say, Manchester, New Hampshire, where you're maybe at 36 or 37 degrees around maybe, I don't know, 5,000 feet in the atmosphere, but colder above it and below it, and that could cause sleet. So I've been hesitant to show the NAM in this forecast because I thought the track was too far west and north. But watching it come in this morning, I like how it looks. It has adjusted itself. So we're going to go right to the NAM. I'm going to show you first the wide scale. And there's a little bit of precipitation bouncing through southern New England right now. It's not as if we're tracking one storm. We're tracking multiple low pressure systems with multiple waves on multiple fronts. So many, many dynamics. And then I want to go forward, and here comes the warm air up the East Coast tomorrow. Actually, I should pause right now. I didn't show the surface map today. What warm air I'm talking about? All right, so I put the temperature on here. This is now the 11 a.m. our time today surface map. And you see the dew point is in, what is the dew point? In blue? I think it's in blue. And the dew point is near 70 in New Orleans and in the 60s in Nashville, Tennessee. So that is warmth and humidity that's going to be running north into our chill that's in place here in southeastern Canada and New England. And there's a major severe weather outbreak ongoing with this. There have been several bouts of severe weather and even the tornado watches and warnings. Looks like West Virginia and tornado warnings right now. So that's the boundary between the warmth lifting north and the cold that's in place. I talked about the negative North Atlantic Oscillation already, and that is just going to hold the cold here in the Northeast. Okay, now let's go back to that NAM. All the black lines are isobars. We have high pressure to the north and low pressure. Stop it right here. Now this is Wednesday with a 989 low over Chicago and another 989 low over Washington, D.C. as the sun goes down Wednesday. And then gradually we see an intensifying low pressure system near Long Island. And I want to stop it again here Thursday morning. You see all those black lines? Those are isobars, and there are a lot of them. At the top is a 1032 high pressure system to our north. It's about 30.5 inches on the barometer. And now the low is deepening. I think it bottoms out around 984 or so, which is about 29 inches or so on the barometer. So that's an incredible pressure gradient. And that means we're going to have wind sustained at 30 to 40 miles per hour. And then much higher gusts in the hills and at the ocean. So in the hills, there may be blizzard conditions occurring Thursday morning as the sun comes up. The worst of this storm is Wednesday night and Thursday. And then we'll put it back in motion here. You see the storm kind of gradually weakens as it goes right over Narragansett Bay and then kind of loops out there with bands of precipitation continuing Thursday and then weakening Thursday night and Friday, and the wind really decreasing Friday. So wind hold issues are almost a certainty on Thursday, damaging wind, power outages, stuff like that. I think you may see a blizzard warning go into effect somewhere in New England, somewhere between Portland, Maine, and Albany, New York, somewhere in there. That's going to be the zone of the heaviest wind and snow combined. All right, now I want to close in on the Northeast. We're going to show that same thing again. And in here, you get a good idea of the green being rain and blue being snow. And here it comes. Tonight and tomorrow, a couple of waves. One wave coming into northern New York and Vermont here, another wave in the south, and then they kind of join tomorrow afternoon. So you want to be done traveling by and before sunset tomorrow. Purple is sleet. Green is rain. Blue is snow. Red is freezing rain. You don't really see freezing rain on here. That's good. Bands of heavy snow with possible blizzard conditions very close to the Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts border here Thursday morning. That's the worst of the storm. I'm going to just pause it right there. And I want to show you the potential wind gusts map for what's called 9Z Thursday morning. 9 minus 4 is 5 a.m. Thursday morning. Gold color east of Cape Cod. 70 to 75 mile per hour gusts offshore with 20-foot seas. I didn't check the tide, but there's certainly going to be erosion. And even inland, you see the hills there in southern New Hampshire and north central Massachusetts, Linda in Princeton. Those are gusts of 55 to 60. So that's where I'm putting the word blizzard back in the forecast for Thursday morning. Don't want to be out anywhere on Thursday morning. As for skiing, I don't think I can be up here. I think I'm going to miss it. Anyhow, let's go back into motion with the timing on the precipitation. You can see bands of snow as the sun comes up on Thursday. any place near the shore, lower elevation, southern New England will probably be rain showers or snow showers mixed. But you get your elevation snow continuing. So the mountains of Maine, New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Ontario, and Quebec are going to keep on snowing. This is a large snow, rain, storms system. I mean, the number of cutoff isopleths at 500 millibars, which, you want to see that? An isopleth? That's a closed low up in the sky at 500 millibars. You can see there's a huge area of cutoff low pressure. That's why the storm is going to stall right over the Gulf of Maine and linger right into Saturday. And at that point, we're gradually going to be weakening and filling, so some snow showers are possible still in the mountains on Saturday. Not ending really until late Saturday altogether. Wow. So how much QPF if it were to be all rain, widespread 2 to 3 inches of water equivalent. Flood watches are in effect. We're getting 2 to 3 inches of rain every 5 to 10 days lately, and we're saturated. And then you can see the heaviest amounts in the higher elevations, and not necessarily near the center of that storm near Cape Cod, because remember, there are 2 storms, one going into the Midwest and another one going across southern New England. All right, so that's the potential rainfall, but it's not going to be all rain. Be all rain from New York City to Cape Cod. All right, now here we go with the snow. Little bits of snow, not really doing much until we get to tomorrow afternoon. And then there it is, ramping up tomorrow night. Thursday morning. All day Thursday. Friday. This thing, the NAM only goes out to sunset on Friday. And right in there are some spots, especially northern New York. Yeah, Whiteface. And over by, looks like close to Sunday River, where that's 30 to 40 inches of snow. And it makes sense if it's going to snow for more than 36 hours, in some cases 48 hours. Sure, we are going to see some lollipops of 3 feet of snow with this system, widespread power outages. And it's going to be a play-by-play starting tomorrow, almost like right now. So pretty out right now. This is the high barometer cold here, settling in with that North Atlantic blocking. Wind is air moving from that high into those low pressure systems, and because the earth is spinning, it turns to the right. So all those isobars mean wind from the northeast. I don't really have time to go all the way into Eclipse Monday, do I? But I think Monday is going to be a pretty good day. I think I talked a little bit about it in the Enmore. In the Enmore yesterday, I'm up top skiing at 4 o'clock, and I run into Friedel and Charlie, characters that are harvesting maple syrup today at the Cody Farm in Nebraska hills of southern Stowe, Vermont. And also Rick monitoring that glacier. And it finally came down yesterday off the roof with a little help, a little prodding. So detailed and more with these characters I skied with. And Rick, a car enthusiast and also an expert skier, which is he's just working really hard to get his YouTube site off the ground. So I told him I'd share his YouTube site on how to fix up and customize cars. That's his favorite hobby besides skiing and just being a really overall nice guy and hard worker. So here's your and more from late yesterday, and then a bit of skiing this morning with more characters and friends. All right, talk to you tomorrow. Not sure what door I'll be going out tomorrow. All right, so it looks like most of the glacier came down. How'd that happen?
The guy came out and poked it with a big metal rod. Cars, man. I got a Volkswagen, I got an Audi, and I love doing videos and modifying them, building them.
So you're doing car videos on YouTube?
Oh yeah, car videos on YouTube. How-tos, modifying, building, maintaining. I've been daily driving the same.
How do we find it?
Well, it's R Hess Boosted on YouTube. r.he.ss_boosted. YouTube channel. I just started my first video, but you gotta start somewhere.
Yeah.
So I got 533 views. Just to air out on my Volkswagen GTI. Then we do how-to videos on modifying, daily driving, upkeep, maintaining, and also just budget building as well.
Cool.
Yeah, man. Rick. Yep.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Blue sky wins again. And this will freeze up tonight, and it'll be groomed up again tomorrow morning. $3:15. Monday, April 1st. I wouldn't be surprised if we have maybe a day like this on the day of the eclipse, actually. Cold Cold air to the north, little warm air to the south. So the eclipse may get eclipsed by a cumulus. That's my early call. Straighten that thing out, will you? Hey, I'm Tim. What's your name?
My name is Friedel Cody. This is my uncle Charlie Painter.
Hi, Tim.
Friedel and
nice To meet
Charlie.
you.
Charlie's visiting from Nome, Alaska.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
we like watching your show every night.
Yeah.
Do you watch it in Alaska?
No, I just met these guys and my sister. And
No,
my
it's
nephew.
become a ritual. So we live 2 valleys over in Nebraska Valley. My parents own a maple sugaring operation called Nebraska Knoll Maple Sugar Farm, and we are very much have to roll with the rhythms of the weather every day. So
I've been sitting here right up this lift, no kidding, saying I hope I meet a sugar farmer because I want to make a video of how good it's going this weekend
oh, you got to get over. We're doing Sugar on Snow on Sunday the 7th.
at your farm.
Yeah.
And how's this year compared to other years?
We just hit crop yesterday.
And that means you're making
That means
money
hitting
from now
crop
on?
is good. Yeah, it's all house money from now on. No, it's a bonus round. We came 1,000 gallons short of crop last year, so we only did about 60% last year.
That's your gold crop. So how'd you guys find me?
I know you from Ski the East when you were doing the weather for them a few years ago.
Uh-huh.
But then it popped up in the algorithm or something last fall. And I was like, oh, he's doing a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So, and you know, like, I've lived in the West primarily off and on for the last 20 years, but the Eastern weather is a lot harder to predict. The West Coast is very binary, consistent. Storms off the Pacific Ocean will hit the land at some point and create snow or rain, depending on the snow level.
This incoming is coming from the Pacific. It went through,
Yeah.
they snowed near Los Angeles yesterday, I guess. And maybe it started south of Alaska,
Yeah.
Charlie. Were you following it from Alaska?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
So cool. Great to meet you guys.
Yeah, likewise. No, we've been checking you out. You become our go-to resource for the area. It's
I
nice.
really appreciate that. Nebraska Valley down there. I'm aiming
Yeah,
for that.
Not too far away as the crow flies.
I want to see that sugar flowing. Cool. Thanks.
Right on. What a beauty. This is about as good as it gets for spring skiing right here.
I'd say. And the fact that my legs could hold up going down nosedive a couple times in a row at this hour is pretty good too.
Yeah, and we got sun dropping over the horizon still. Lighting up nosedive at 4 p.m. Hard to complain about that.
So I know in the and more videos it gets a little confusing. So here's the last one from the day before. This is April 1st. No fooling. Cold air advection and warm air advection meeting right over us. And there are the Legion of Groom going up. Is that T-line? They don't do T-line every night. So I'm glad to see that. And then hayride, and then lookout, and then lift line, and so on and so on and so on. And then the next thing to come up is the and more from same day, which would be Tuesday, April 2nd. And by the way, that's where I shoot these videos. This is where I got in trouble. Right there. Too loud the other day. Okay, now to Tuesday. And now the and more from Tuesday morning, today, April 2nd, about 8 o'clock. The power of solar heat. Right there. That's gorgeous. All right, it's gonna get soft quick. How'd we do this morning?
I don't know if you can see it, but there's actually frost on the snow. This ice doesn't stand a chance with this sunshine. 7:56. Gorgeous start. It's gonna be corn within a half hour. All right, 1 minute of 8. That's 10 on day, I don't know, 15 maybe? And then very front row of singles is Bill. Billy has the arch with the white hat. And right next to him is Bill Levins. So they're always in the front row. TK in the back row. Incredible blue sky, sinking air, subsidence, high pressure, high barometer, cold, fueling the north side of this incoming storm. I've had a request to try and get Billy skiing, but he's elusive.
It was really fast and kind of crunchy the first run, but it's going to soften up so fast now. Those beautiful clouds. Heavy frost, prime frost down there. Storm is still pretty far away. Last night, a little front came through and it looks like it snowed on those trees, but that's actually rime frost from that inversion cloud that formed. That's still hanging out in the valley. Gorgeous. Tuesdays are the best. So those slush puddles freeze up solid and then reform. Temperature goes from the 20s to the 40s maybe today. I do not know the order of the grooming. Do you?
Yeah. So in the springtime, you want to catch the trail that was groomed last. So gondola is always the last trail to be groomed, but on Sunday it was the first because they had to do sunrise service at 5 in the morning.